watching Lit Sports Online, and we have a developing story, something that's going to be really important for the National Football League, and possibly affect teams' draft plans and free agency plans. Gerald, why don't you get us into it?
Dallas Cowboys quarterback Tony Romo has announced his retirement and plans to start a career in broadcasting.
Yeah, rumor has it that he will replace Phil Simms as the lead sports analyst for CBS, which could include being a color commentator on NFL games.
Now, of course, this does affect the draft possibilities of certain teams because certain teams were gambling on the fact that Dak Prescott would, of course, become the king of the Cowboys and be their head quarterback, meaning that most likely Tony Romo would have been released. But with Tony Romo instead not being released but retiring, this does change things for teams, especially the Houston Texans, Denver Broncos, New York Jets, maybe even the Browns. Teams that were a little bit quarterback hungry that need a veteran in that position.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that there was several teams that could have used him as a starter and even more that could have used him as a backup. But he finished his career now with a 65.3% completions, 34,183 passing yards, 248 pass TDs, 117 interceptions, and surprisingly, a career quarterback rating of 97.1.
Wow. And I mean, I'll be the first person, most of my Facebook friends will tell you I put up more Facebook memes against the Cowboys than anybody, but true enough, he won at least 2 out of 6 of his playoff games. I didn't realize he had won even that many, but hey.
Yeah, and interesting enough, there was a stretch of time where Romo had the highest fourth quarter passer rating. That was from 2006 to 2013. During that span of time, he was actually a really efficient quarterback in the fourth quarter, which it's funny because you don't really think of him as being that kind of clutch guy. He has made a lot of mistakes in clutch moments, and that's probably why he's only won 2 out of the 6 playoff games.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think when we look back at Tony Romo's career, we do have to look at the fact that in recent years that Dallas O-line's been a lot more beastly than it's been during the majority of his career. And I think that's one thing that Romo unfortunately didn't get to take advantage of that much.
I mean, I think you also got to ask, why is he retiring? And I mean, he's not an old guy. I mean, he's definitely younger than Tom Brady, who wants to play into his 40s. But I think a lot of it has to do with a lot of the injuries. I mean, he's had quite a few season-ending injuries here, and it's almost like you got to think about what's more important, playing this game or me being able to walk the rest of my life. I mean, you see this happening. Players are retiring younger. Even Zach Orr from the Ravens, he just retired. He only been in the NFL 3 years, and he was starting to get into the groove of things, becoming a lead defensive, linebacker, definitely get into his groove. But again, he retired. Again, you have Romo here, who could have gone to a team like the Houston Texans and probably had a few playoff runs with them. They could have definitely gone far. I feel like the only thing they're missing is a legitimate quarterback. Romo could have been that as long as their line stayed up and protected him. But again, injuries plagued him. I think a lot of that has to do with he's made his money. He's worth a lot of money right now, and broadcasting is a pretty cushy, gig. So, hey.
Well, I was really scratching my head when I first heard about the fact that he was announcing his retirement because I was thinking Houston Texans would be the perfect fit for him. He could get another 1 or 2 or 3 years of trying to make a playoff run and possibly even a Super Bowl run. Because you got to remember, the Texans. I mean, they made the playoffs last year with Brock Osweiler.
They were horrible. If they had had a guy like Romo, what could have happened?
I mean, remember that? I remember we were watching that Patriots Texans playoff game. It was a close game for the first half.
That was
if they had Romo, who knows? They could have got the upset, but
could have been beautiful.
So I mean,
Tom Brady might not have got his touchdown if Romo had been there.
This kind of strikes me as this must have been a real personal decision for Romo. He must have just figured I could go to the Texans or Broncos, but do I really want to keep playing football? Maybe that year off where he was basically the second string quarterback, didn't have to do much. He might have really liked it.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think about it. You come off a serious injury like the one he had, not to mention all the injuries he's had, in years past, and think, again, I mean, I want to be around. I mean, I'm worth a lot of money, but if I'm paraplegic or even worse, what's the point? I could play this game forever, but if I just keep getting injured, there's no point to it. I mean, you see it in college. A lot of kids are rethinking doing the NFL draft. I was surprised, actually, and we'll get to this in another episode when we do our draft episode. Taysom Hill, for example, another guy that's had 4 season-ending injuries at BYU. Now he's looking to get into the NFL draft. Don't think he'll get drafted high, but again, I think it's something that to be said that players really do need to think about. What's important, playing the sport or getting injured?
Yeah, I mean the thing is like with Tony Romo,
Yeah.
it's just yeah. I mean like this is what I want to focus on though, is that it's all but confirmed he's going to be that lead sports analyst for CBS. What happens to Phil Simms? Like, is he going away? Like, I mean,
every AFC fan is hoping that he does.
I know a lot of people that have a problem with Phil Simms and like how he's been announcing over the years, and they're probably welcoming this change.
I'm interested to see what Tony Romo could do. I mean, again, being a Ravens fan, our games are on CBS, so I'm interested in seeing what the boy can do.
Yeah, but I also want to talk a little bit about what now that he's out of the picture and retired. We have a couple teams that were probably giving him a good look.
Yeah.
And we got to figure out what's going on with them. Like, I mean, the Cowboys. I mean, they'll be set. They have Prescott.
Set,
But you know, I think about teams like the Jets. You know, they desperately need a starting quarterback. But I mean, ultimately, would Romo have gone there? I don't think so because he wasn't going to go anywhere with them. Like, they're not that good to make playoffs. I don't think. But yeah, like the Broncos, the Texans, they're going to start savage, it seems like, unless they take a quarterback in the draft. Or maybe they pick up Kaepernick. I don't know what they're going to do.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how many quarterbacks worth getting in this year's draft are going to be available by the time the Texans do get to draft somebody. I mean, they could also trade up. I mean, that's always the option. You can trade up and get somebody. But, I mean, when you think about it, Deshaun's going to be gone probably the first 5 picks. Despite your blog post.
Yeah.
But
it's looking like, hey, the mock drafts from Mel Kiper and Todd McShay, I saw it today, actually, and they have him going in, like, the top 10 picks.
Oh, yeah, wouldn't be surprised. But, I mean, I think for the Texans, this hurts them the most, because I honestly think, I mean, there's something to be said about rumors. You know, a lot of people were saying, oh, he could go to the Texans. I would not be surprised if they were thinking, okay, come on. I mean, they did the trades to the Browns. Remember that? They traded to the Browns, and there was a bunch of mix-ups there that looked like they were trying to make room for them almost. But yeah, I mean, this draft honestly isn't the best for quarterbacks, and of course you run the risk of if I, start a rookie quarterback, am I going to get a Dak Prescott situation? Am I going to get a Russell Wilson or Andrew Luck?
Yeah, I mean, there's never been a rookie quarterback to start and win the Super Bowl. Like, so Prescott had a chance to do it, but that's not something that really happens. Like, if you take a quarterback early, you're expecting a couple years to rebuild. So, yeah, I mean, as far as free agent quarterbacks, there's really not much outside of Kaepernick now. And
you know what? Maybe Kaepernick might end up in Houston. Who knows?
Could be.
Who knows?
Could be.
I mean, he's still out there. No one's really bit at him yet, but
I actually don't think the Broncos quarterback situation is that bad. I mean, they got Paxton Lynch and they got Trevor Siemian that I guess are going to compete again to see who's their starter for next year. They'll be okay. Those guys don't seem like they're that bad.
Give those kids reps and they'll get better with reps.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean that's basically the story. Tony Romo's retiring. He's going to CBS. We're gonna see what happens from there. I expect he's gonna be commentating on NFL games next year. So
yeah, I don't see him any pre-shows. I think he's gonna be active. Like you're gonna hear him every game.
And I welcome it. It's always good to hear like new voices in the announce team. It's always exciting to see.
Change of pace.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, that does it for our Lit Sports Online episode. Make sure to check back with us later in the month. We're going to have an NFL draft preview show. Yep. And that's going to be an exciting one. You won't want to miss that.
And don't forget to subscribe below, like this video, and let us know what you think. And also, check out our website, LitTube Channel. LitTubeChannel.wordpress.com, where we'll be writing articles. Justin's article is already on there talking about Deshaun Watson. So, hey, check back often, subscribe, follow us, and enjoy the ride. Take care. Beam me up, Scotty.